Hey, how's it going? I'm Coach Kyle, and if you're curious about, maybe you've heard about the 80-20 running idea from Matt Fitzgerald or the Maffetone Method from Dr. Phil Maffetone, then you're in the right spot. Today you're going to learn about what those ideas are, how they work, and what, if anything, you should know about them and apply to your own training. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the Maffetone Method. And this was a pretty thick yellow book that came out a while back. And basically the idea is that you take 180 minus your age, and that gives you a number. We'll say 150. And so that 150, basically the idea is that when you're out running, you use a watch or a heart rate strap to monitor your heart rate. And when you do that, something you can do is basically that 150 is your max aerobic function. So basically the idea is that when you're out running, you don't let your heart rate go above that number. And if you're 30 years old, it's 150. And so what I really suggest people do is they have a watch or they have a GPS with a heart rate monitor band around their chest. And you set an alert. So if it's 140 or 150, you set an alert for that number. And if you're out running and you come across a hill, or maybe you're speeding up and you hit that max aerobic function number, your watch will beep at you and you know to dial it back to slow it down. And at the end of this video, I'll talk about why this is important. But right now we're just talking about kind of how it works. And so when you're running and you hit that max aerobic function, the Maffetone Method says slow down. And many people, especially lower fitness level people or people that are older, they're taking 180, they're subtracting 40, 50, or 60. Sometimes they have problems running that slow to keep their heart rate that low. And sometimes I see this online a lot where they post about the Maffetone Method and they're like, I'm walking and my heart rate is almost that high when I hit a hill. But again, I'll talk about this at the end of the video, but that's kind of how the Maffetone Method works. 180 minus your age, and that gives you that max aerobic function. And one good way that you can kind of monitor if you're actually improving is something called a Maff test. And basically, you do a time. It's a time trial type thing where you run at a certain heart rate for a distance or a time. And ideal scenario is you either speed up at the same heart rate or at that same speed, your heart rate is a little lower. And the 80-20 method was popularized by Matt Fitzgerald. He is an excellent endurance author. I have a number of his books on my bookshelf right here, and he wrote the 80-20 method of running. And basically, the idea is that if you look at the training of successful amateurs all the way up to elite runners, most of the running they're doing, about actually 80%, is done at a very easy conversational pace, at a low heart rate, a low level of perceived exertion, and 20% is done at a moderate or a hard heart rate, level of perceived exertion, fast speeds. And that 80% of their training, generally over time on average, is done at a very easy conversational pace. And Matt Fitzgerald, he did an excellent job laying it out, explaining it. And it's true for elites, it's true for new runners, that most of your running should be at a very easy conversational pace, a low heart rate, a low power. My Coros watch here, you can actually see the review of this watch right up here. My Coros watch, it records speed, heart rate, and power. And that 80-20 method is that 80% of your running, again, in general, should be at a very low heart rate, level of perceived exertion, or power. And with the Maffetone Method, with the 80-20 running idea, I use many of these tactics with my own clients and with myself. My Coros watch here, most newer GPS watches, they measure a number of these different factors or characteristics of your running, and they're all just different avenues to the same location. If you want to use the 80-20 method, if you want to use power, if you want to use heart rate or speed, Again, they're all good ways to, and this is the most important thing, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see many runners make, is they run a little bit too hard, a little bit too often. And as I talked about, and as Matt Fitzgerald talks about, most running, from new runners all the way up to Olympic caliber athletes, most of your training should be at a very easy, low level, conversational pace. It's an effort level that you can speak Shakespeare and its native Klingon at ease and without any problem. And if you can't do that, if you're too out of breath, if your heart rate is too high, too much, too often, you're kind of in that gray zone. Most running should be at a very easy effort. Even as, you know, I'm an above average runner, most of my running is at a very, very easy, slow pace. If I go out and do a trail, I'm gonna walk some of the hills. If it's a rest day or a really easy day, I'm gonna walk some. Often the first thing I do is I slow them down. I get them running easier and slower. And what that does, and this is the main idea here, people, what that does, what true easy running does, is it lets you recover better. It lets you feel better during the runs. You'll perform better during these runs. You'll feel better at the end than you did at the beginning. That's what true easy running does. You can run farther, more frequently, more consistently. You'll recover better, and all of that leads to lower injury risk and faster times. You don't need to run super hard, super fast all the time to be a successful runner, to improve as a runner. And if you're struggling with your easy runs, if you want to improve your strength work or your nutrition, your mindfulness, visit kylekranz.com, fill out that application form, and we'll chat about how we can work together to make you a happier, healthier, and more sustainable runner. Now, don't go away quick yet. After this video here in a few seconds, I'm gonna have some playlists up, and we'll talk about easy running and some strength work. Two things I mentioned that I work with straight away with almost all of my new clients. So hold on 1 second, don't leave. Check out one of those videos. And as always, you keep running, I'll keep coaching.